50 riders, the top 25 advancing through to knockout number 2. Then we will have 25 riders starting in 5 rows of 5, and the top 3 riders from each row will advance through to the final, with 15 riders starting all together in 3 rows of 5. The heat very much a defining factor of the Tennesse knockout. This is Cody Webb, the American who is leading Group 2 at the moment, as he's getting a little bit beached on this log and manages to haul the bike over and then carry on his way. It's just so physical, this hard enduro, Grant.
Well, these are the things you want to try and avoid, because it just really saps the energy out of you. You're in this dense forest where you've got just humid air, it's sticky, it's heavy, there's no breeze on you, and you're just sweating profusely. But Cody Moss on top, and no matter what tire compound you pick, you might have some traction, and then it leads to that, or you end up wheel spinning.
Yep, Ryan Sipes there still struggling to get away from 4 logs. That's the same spot that we saw him a moment ago when Quinn Wenzel came and passed him, and he is still there, still struggling to get out of this section. And he's been joined there by another rider as well, so he's losing places here, Ryan Sipes. You've got to be in the top 3 in your group if you would want to advance through to the final knockout round. So race leader Tristan Hart is about to start the hill climb. He did it in the earlier first knockout round. How smooth is he going to be this time around? Look at that, breezes up it, really impressive stuff. Tina, riverbed, he and the other riders are only partially through the second knockout round of the day, which qualifies them for the final race. Webb is now at this mandatory hill climb, which we saw one of his rivals, Tristan Hart, breeze up earlier on. Grant, let's see how he does.
Well, I wonder if it's gotten into his head. He didn't do it earlier. Now he has no choice. He's fully committed. You can hear the RPM on that machine going up the hill. Oh, little mistake there, but I think he's going to be able to continue using those long legs once again. So not quite as efficient as Tristan Hart, so that might be a big deciding factor when we get into the final rounds.
Yeah, he'll have to do that multiple times once he gets through to the final, but he's got up the hill climb this time around. Now we are with Benjamin Herrera at a walk in the park. The, Chilean struggling there. Bike dropping down. He's going to have to haul that one up. Turns 26 next week, does the youngster, as he looks to improve his standings around the hard enduro world. Had a podium last year in Red Bull Override in Texas and at the Inca Hard Enduro in Peru, and he has now been joined by Corey Graffender, who struggles a little bit earlier here, but you can see from this camera angle just how big these logs are that they've got to try and get over.
Well, the nice thing for Herrera was at least he got over the log before dumping the bike, so Corey Graffender got a little extra work for him to do.
So Benjamin Herrera pulls away. Group 5, meanwhile, are at 4 logs. We've got the 901 bike there on the left-hand side. That's Nick Farringer. 513 facing backwards down the hill. That is Ryder LeBlond, and then Spencer Wilton is in there somewhere as well. But even just trying to, you go back around to have another go at it, and even turning the bike around to go back around looks like it's a challenge. But Tristan Hart, meanwhile, is coming into Lampkin Falls, named after Dougie Lampkin. And he is looking very, very comfortable out in front. And is this a pressure-off situation for him, really? Has he just got to kind of try and learn the course and perfect his lines for the final knockout round later on?
Oh, he's definitely in a comfortable position out front. No pressure coming from behind, and he's just looked very comfortable. Never flustered at any moment. He's taken a quick breather every now and then to really suss the line out that he's going to take on the bigger hills. Look at him, very methodical. Everything he's doing is with purpose. And at the moment, it's working out because he's not making the big mistakes.
So doubles back on himself and then continues climbing the hill. You can see the rugged landscape for the Tennesse knockout. We're riding with Cody Webb now as he comes through a flatter, slightly more straightforward part of the terrain, but this is where it starts to get tough on some of these descents. You think of the ascents as being the tricky part, but that does not look easy either.
Well, it's very easy to get carried away. You want to make up some ground, you carry a little extra speed, but these are the sections that will bite you. Those rocks are constantly moving, and you've got to be very respectful.
Here comes Noah Keppel, the 24-year-old, on his Husqvarna, about to take on the hill climb. Second in Group 2 at the moment. You hear a bit more wheel spin compared to the other riders, but he makes it up to the top. Corey Graffender is stopping for... You can either go around me, I'm not moving out of the way for you, and I think they're all stuck up behind Jordan Ashburn on the 48 bike. So that's why Ryan Sipes is waiting, because he's waiting for the route to be clear in front. And that's one of the things we've seen with Ryan Sipes earlier on, actually, is how close these riders get to each other. And if there's a bit of a blockage, oh, there's the blockage, the bike's on its side, that can cost you so much time, almost through no fault of your own.
Oh, and that's the problem Sipes is dealing with. Didn't get a clear run at it. You can tell getting wore out, but doesn't want to move over and lose a position. Remember, these guys are trying to qualify for the final, so every position is critical. So a battle in slow motion at the moment for qualifying spots.
And there's a look at some of the rocks as well. We mentioned it earlier on, but they're all kind of coated in that green moss that makes it so difficult to get traction. Because you look at that, it looks like there's plenty of rocks, a little bit of mud. You should be able to get something on that, but just nothing.
Oh, you've heard the riders talk about it all week, about just how slick it is and deceiving.
Got away a little bit. It looks as though Ryan Sipes is getting a bit of encouragement, and he sends it straight over. Nice job from Ryan Sipes, and the crowd show their appreciation.
Oh, and you can tell Sipes is relieved, and then unfortunately just
through to the final, along with Tristan Hart. Here comes Ryder LeBlond up the hill climb, sort of. Has a little bit of a moment, 3/4 of the way up, and then it's going to be tough to get up from there. Cody Webb, first from Group 2, is going to advance to the final.
Cody Webb, he's won this 6 times, but he wants to do it on the Sherco, which has not been done. KTM have dominated this event. Tristan Hart's been riding fantastic all weekend long. He's had good results in the past, but now finds himself leading early.
So here they come. Still the Canadian ahead of the American. Then there's a little bit of a gap back to Noah Keppel, who's running in 3rd position, the 24-year-old. And look at these top 2 right together. Seeing them go absolutely head-to-head is really quite spectacular. We saw them pretty much on their own for most of the first knockout races. Webb almost into the back of Tristan Hart as they swing through that left-hander around the tree. And Hart gets a little bit of a gap, but it's so tough to keep following in these positions. You can see the crowd that have turned up from the riders' family and friends. Not the usual cheers and applause that we're used to at Tennessee Knockout, but they're all still going to be wanting Cody Webb to take victory here. No doubt about that. He's been riding at this venue for an awful long time. Now let's go down and join Tina with one of the riders that didn't make it through to the final. Been riding bikes all his life.
He's going to be sore in some areas. He didn't even know he had muscles. And as far as the front 2 go at the moment, you can see the intensity. They are pushing it. Cody Webb mentioned was saving a little bit for the main event. He's a wily veteran, knows how to pace himself like a good marathon runner. Save your best for last.
Benjamin Herrera there has now made it up into 3rd position, but it is Tristan Hart who's leading. There's Cody Webb in 2nd. Hart, the 23-year-old Canadian, finished 14th in his first ever go at Red Bull Hare Scramble last year. He was the top rookie of 2019, helped out by Cody Webb, actually. Tristan's brakes failed, and Cody basically brought a replacement up the mountain, and Tristan was able to carry on. But he's got the measure on Cody Webb at the moment on this Manny Lettenbichler KTM. So he's doing a good service to that KTM at the moment, with Cody Webb on the Sherco trying to chase him down.
So a battle of 2 intense riders on 2 different machines. Sherco never had a chance to win this event, and also at times just know when you have to follow.
Now this is the part of the course where a lap ago they were right together, weren't they? Tristan Hart out in front and Cody Webb was right behind him, but now Hart is up that hill climb well before Cody Webb gets to the bottom of it. He attacks it now, climbs to the top, and we are in the closing stages of the final race of the Kenda Tennessee Knockout. Tristan Hart has dominated all day. Cody Webb is running out of time. Can he reel in and overtake the young Canadian? You're watching the Red Bull Signature Series. Welcome back to the Red Bull Signature Series. We're in the final stages of the 10th annual Tennesse Knockout. Leader Tristan Hart is about to complete the 6th lap with Cody Webb still right on his tail, Benjamin Herrera in 3rd and Noah Keppel in 4th. If Webb has any hopes of capturing a 7th title, he will have to make a move soon to overtake the young Canadian. Tristan Hart doing a very good job out in front there on bike number 80. Like an age this final lap for Tristan Hart, I'd have thought.
Tristan Hart, you see, still standing up, feet on the pegs. That means he's got a lot in the tank. See, Ryder LeBlanc now 5th position, so there's a battle for the top 5 going back and forth, and oh, that is not a position you want to be getting stuck at.
Well, they're both down there, weren't they? Because Keith Curtis was the white bike a little bit further back down the hill, and Max Gersten now has managed to climb up into 7th place. He was 13th at the end of the first lap, but there's Ryder LeBlanc. He's stuck against the tree. You see the white bike, the 711, has just got going again of Keith Curtis, so he's now up into 5th position.
Back and forth.
But here's the checkered flag, and there is the win. A superb ride from Tristan Hart. Half a minute slower on that last lap than his best, but that doesn't matter. He's done enough to win the 2020 Kenda Tennesse Knockout. Superb ride. Cody Webb, not going to win, but a 2nd place. Still a good job. It just will kill him, though, that he hasn't been able to take a record-breaking 7th title.
Yeah, great ride from Cody Webb. He threw it all out there, but I think today Tristan Hart was just the strongest rider all weekend long. Well deserved for him, but you can tell Cody still pretty happy with that 2nd place. But I'm sure he and Team Sherco would have loved to have been on the top step of the podium.
He made up 21 seconds on Tristan Hart during that final lap, but it wasn't a strong ride. But let's hear from our race winner. So here's a look at the final results. The win for Tristan Hart on his KTM. Cody Webb finishing in 2nd position this time around, and a good ride from Benjamin Herrera to finish 3rd. All
out the 1, 2, and 3. 6-time winner Cody Webb clearly was the favorite going into the competition, but Tristan Hart, carrying that momentum of a recent first win over the veteran, dominated the day, winning all 4 rounds of the racing, including the main event. He proved that he was clearly the man to beat, looking flawless as he navigated brutal new sections, including 4 logs, walk in the park, and the addition of a new hill climb that Hart was the first to ever climb in TKO competition. For that, the young Canadian Tristan Hart gets our signature moment.